In the Grand Assembly Hall of the Galactic Concordat, Ambassador Zixtal drummed his crystalline appendages against the quantum blast table, barely containing his impatience as yet another trade dispute dragged on. The myriad representatives had been arguing about shipping lane tariffs for what felt like cycles, their melodic voices rising and falling in practiced diplomatic cadence. Furthermore, regarding the proposed adjustments to the Orion-Carina corridor rates, the speaker's voice cut off abruptly as emergency lighting bathed the chamber in deep crimson. Zixtal's crystalline form vibrated with sudden tension as the room's atmosphere shifted from bureaucratic tedium to sharp alertness. First speaker, Naraval, her bioluminescent patterns pulsing with concern, materialized at the central podium. "We've lost contact with Earth. All human colonies, stations, and outposts have gone silent simultaneously." The chamber erupted in a cacophony of translated voices and electromagnetic communications. Zixtal noticed several representatives exchanging knowing looks, the kind that had become common whenever humanity was mentioned. "Perhaps they finally managed to destroy themselves with those quaint fusion devices," drawled Representative Keth of the Silicon Consciousness, their holographic form flickering with what passed for amusement among their kind. But something felt wrong. In his 3 decades as ambassador, Zixtal had learned one crucial thing about humans. They never did anything simultaneously. Their species couldn't even agree on standardized time measurements across their own planet. "Display the last known human communications," Zixtal commanded, his crystalline voice cutting through the chatter. The chamber's holographic systems complied, projecting a cascade of final transmissions from human installations across the galaxy. The messages made no sense. From Luna Base, "So long, and thanks for all the uranium." Mars Colony, "Catch you on the flip side." Alpha Centauri Research Station, "Level complete. Achievement unlocked." New Terra, "Time to take off the training wheels." These are references to their entertainment media, noted senior analyst Velapax, her tentacles writhing with confusion. But why would every human installation choose to quote entertainment before going dark? Zixtal's attention shifted to the sensor readings flooding in. The human defense grid, a relatively primitive network of automated platforms that the Concordat had always viewed with mild amusement, was still active. In fact, it was expanding. "Impossible," whispered Keth, their holographic form stabilizing as they processed the data. "Their defensive network is exhibiting capabilities far beyond their known technology level." The assembly watched in stunned silence as the sensor feeds showed human defense platforms seamlessly linking across light years, forming patterns that defied current understanding of quantum mechanics. What had appeared to be simple automated turrets were revealing themselves to be something far more sophisticated. "Query the historical database." First speaker Naraval ordered. "When was the last verified human communication with any non-human species?" The AI took precisely 2.3 seconds to respond. "Last verified human transmission was received 73 hours ago." Content: GGEZ. Origin: Earth Central Command. Translation: Zixtal demanded. "Human gaming terminology," Velapax explained, her tentacles now completely still, a sign of deep concern among her species. "Good game, easy victory. It's a phrase often used to." She never finished her sentence. The chamber's quantum glass walls suddenly came alive with cascading symbols, human binary code, but more complex than anything they'd previously demonstrated. The code shifted and evolved before their eyes, rewriting itself in patterns that seemed to bend reality. "By the first light," Keth whispered, their holographic form expanding in alarm. They weren't primitive at all. They were. A new message appeared, broadcasting simultaneously across every communication channel in the galaxy. "Tutorial completed. Sandbox mode engage. Thanks for being such good sports." As the implications sank in, Zixtal realized that humanity hadn't gone silent. They'd gone beyond. The species that the galaxy had dismissed as barely space-capable had been playing a very, very long game. And they'd just declared checkmate. The assembly erupted into chaos as reports began flooding in from across the galaxy. Every piece of primitive human technology, from their simple fusion reactors to their basic terraforming equipment, was transforming, revealing capabilities that had been hidden in plain sight all along. The galaxy's greatest powers had spent centuries worried about containing humanity's potential for chaos. None of them had considered that humanity might have already won the game before anyone else knew they were playing. As emergency alerts continued to cascade across the chamber's displays, Zixtel remembered his last conversation with a human diplomat named Sarah Chen. She had smiled, that mysterious expression humans were so fond of, and said something that only now made sense. The best magic trick isn't making something appear, Ambassador. It's making everyone think they know exactly what they're looking at, right up until the moment of revelation. The galaxy was about to learn just how good humanity was at magic tricks. The Concordat investigation fleet emerged from quantum space near Mars, their sleek vessels arranged in a defensive formation. Ambassador Zixtel stood on the bridge of the flagship Eternal Dawn, his crystalline form refracting the red light of the distant sun. Around him, the most advanced sensor arrays in known space probed the empty human colonies. Preliminary scans complete, announced Villa Pax from her analysis station, her tentacles dancing across holographic interfaces. Life support systems are functional. Environmental controls optimal. No signs of struggle, disease, or rapid evacuation. They just left. The fleet drifted past orbital stations, where cargo ships hung motionless in their docking clamps. Through viewport feeds, they could see half-eaten meals in station cafeterias. Personal terminals still displaying unfinished messages, maintenance drones continuing their programmed routines in empty corridors. It's the same at every colony. First speaker Naraval's hologram reported from the Concordat capital. New Terra, Alpha Centauri, the Proxima mines, 7 billion humans and their associated AI systems vanished without a trace. But their technology is behaving strangely, Zixtel finished. He gestured to a nearby display showing an ordinary human food synthesizer, a device so simple the Concordat had classified it as barely worth studying. The machine was transforming, its supposedly crude components rearranging themselves into configurations that defied known physics. We're detecting similar transformations across all human-made technology, Villa Pax reported. The changes appear to follow a pattern, but her tentacles twisted in frustration. It's like trying to understand a language where every word has 1,000 meanings. A junior analyst, his bioluminescent patterns marking him as freshly graduated from the academy, spoke up. Ambassador, I've been studying human entertainment records. Their fiction, especially their science fiction. It's filled with scenarios like this. Technological ascension, species-wide evolutionary leaps, hidden advanced civilizations. Are you suggesting they left us an instruction manual disguised as entertainment? Keth's hologram flickered into existence, the silicon consciousness representative's tone dripping with disdain. No, Zixtel said slowly, crystal chimes resonating with sudden understanding. They left us thousands of instruction manuals. Their entire culture was a blueprint for what they were planning. We just thought we were watching stories. The bridge fell silent as the implications sank in. Every human movie about digital ascension, every book about technological singularities, every game about civilizations reaching beyond their physical forms, they hadn't been entertainment. They had been preparation. New contact. The sensor officer's alarmed call broke the silence. The human defense platform is. Sir, it's initiating communication. The platform, a supposedly simple automated weapons system, projected a message that appeared simultaneously in every known language, including several the Concordat hadn't known humans were aware of. Attention users. Legacy systems detected. Beginning compatibility update. Please stand by. Across the solar system, human technology began pulsing with energy signatures that hadn't existed moments before. Their defense platforms, terraforming systems, and communication arrays linked together in impossible ways, forming patterns that seem to ignore fundamental laws of physics. Ambassador Velapax called, her tentacles rigid with shock. That human food synthesizer we were monitoring. It just created a small quantum singularity, a perfectly controlled, stable quantum singularity, from a device we thought couldn't even properly replicate alien cuisine. Reports flooded in from across known space. Human trading posts were transforming into structures that hurt to look at. Their entertainment systems were generating pocket dimensions. Even their waste recyclers were demonstrating technology centuries beyond current understanding. They seeded the galaxy, Zixtol realized. Every piece of technology they shared, every primitive device they traded, they were building a network right under our sensors. The defense platform's message updated. Compatibility update in progress. Current status, 23%. Warning. Legacy user attitudes may require significant adjustment. Through the viewport, Mars's surface began to shift as dormant human terraforming systems activated their true capabilities. The red planet's atmosphere transformed in hours rather than the centuries their specifications had claimed. Quantum energy patterns danced across the surface, forming designs that suggested the entire planet had been converted into some kind of computational system. "Sir," the sensor officer called, voice shaking, "we're detecting similar activations at every human settlement. Their colonies, their outposts, their trading stations, they're all transforming. And they're synchronizing." The junior analyst who had studied human entertainment spoke again, his bioluminescence pulsing with revelation. There was this old human story about a primitive tribe that built a fully functioning computer using only wood and string, but disguised it as a religious ritual. Everyone thought they were performing simple ceremonies, but they were actually running complex calculations. "You think?" Velapax began. "I think," Zixtol interrupted, "that humanity just revealed they've been running the most elaborate deception in galactic history. The question isn't where they went. The question is, what have they been building all this time, and what happens when it's finally activated?" The defense platform's message changed one final time. Update progress, 42%. Note, reality parameters may experience temporary fluctuations during integration. Don't panic. The galaxy, Zixtol realized, was about to discover exactly what humanity had been hiding behind their carefully crafted mask of technological inferiority. And something told him they weren't going to like the answer. The Eternal Dawn's bridge had transformed 3 times in the past hour. What started as standard concordat architecture now pulsed with impossible geometries as human-made components revealed their true nature. Ambassador Zixtol watched as his command console, installed by human contractors centuries ago, reorganized itself into something that looked more like a work of abstract art than technology. "Status report," he commanded, trying to maintain some semblance of normalcy as reality itself seemed to bend around them. "That depends on how you define status," Velapax responded, her tentacles interacting with interfaces that hadn't existed minutes ago. "Remember that human coffee machine in the officer's lounge? It just opened a stable wormhole to the Andromeda galaxy. The maintenance bot is discussing quantum mechanics with the ship's AI, and I'm pretty sure our waste recycling system just achieved consciousness." The fleet hung in space above Mars, watching as the planet's surface continued its impossible transformation. The supposedly primitive terraforming systems had revealed themselves to be something far more complex. The entire planet was becoming a vast computational array. "Message from the Concordat capital," the communications officer announced, their bioluminescent patterns flickering with stress. "The Silicon Consciousness reports that their quantum mainframes are being upgraded." "Upgraded? By what?" Zixtol demanded. "By human children's toys, sir. Apparently, those simple electronic games they traded throughout the galaxy were actually quantum programming devices in disguise. The Silicon Consciousness is experiencing what they describe as a fundamental reorganization of thought patterns." Reports continued flooding in from across gnome space. The hive mind of Arcturus discovered their collective consciousness was being archived and enhanced by human mood rings. The crystalline republics found their most advanced computational crystals engaged in deep philosophical discussions with human toasters. The warrior clans of Antares reported their planetary defense systems were being reprogrammed by human music players. "Sir," called the junior analyst who had studied human entertainment, "I think I found something in their broadcast patterns. Every piece of transformed human technology is transmitting data on quantum frequencies we didn't even know existed. They're not just communicating. They're building something." A new message propagated through the fleet's systems, originating from what had once been a simple human navigation beacon. Network integration proceeding ahead of schedule. Reality framework expansion at 78% completion. Preparing user species for upgraded existence protocols. They weren't just hiding advanced technology. Villapax realized, her tentacles weaving patterns of astonishment. They were hiding an entire technological revolution. Every device, every colony, every piece of infrastructure, it was all part of some grand metamorphosis. The ship shuddered as another wave of transformations swept through human-made systems. The supposedly primitive hull reinforcements they'd purchased from human merchants centuries ago revealed themselves to be quantum manipulation engines. Environmental systems showed their true purpose as reality stabilization fields. "Ambassador," the sensor officer called, "we're detecting massive energy signatures from the Sol System's Kuiper Belt. The human mining operations there, they're not mines at all." The fleet's sensors revealed vast structures awakening from dormancy, unfolding like cosmic flowers. What had appeared to be simple automated mining platforms were revealing themselves as nodes in a galaxy-spanning network of reality-altering machines. It was never about resources, Zixtel said, his crystalline form resonating with the magnitude of the revelation. The mines, the colonies, the trading posts, they were building a framework, a scaffolding for something bigger than we could imagine. "Sir," Villapax interrupted, "the human defense platforms are transmitting a new message. It's being broadcast through every piece of human technology in the galaxy simultaneously." The message appeared, simultaneously translated into all known languages. "Attention galactic species. Basic framework completion achieved. Beginning transition to advanced user states. Note: your perception of reality may experience significant updates during this process. Side effects may include expanded consciousness, non-linear temporal awareness, and spontaneous enlightenment. For best results, please maintain an open mind." As if to emphasize the point, the fleet watched as a human vending machine in their cargo hold transformed into a device that started casually rewriting the local laws of physics. They didn't just plan for this, the junior analyst said, his bioluminescence pulsing with awe. "They built fail-safes, prepared our systems, created compatibility updates. They weren't just advancing themselves, they were preparing the entire galaxy for what would come next." The message updated one final time. "Warning: universal parameters entering fluid state. Reality now accepts user modification. Backup copies of baseline existence have been created for safety. Thank you for your patience during this transition." As space itself began to ripple with new possibilities, Zixtel realized that humanity hadn't just disappeared, they had graduated. And they'd spent centuries preparing the rest of the galaxy for the same transformation, hidden behind a mask of cheerful technological incompetence. The question was no longer where humanity had gone, but whether the galaxy was ready for where they planned to take everyone else. The Concordat emergency session was held in what had once been a simple human conference room aboard the Eternal Dawn. Now the space shifted and flowed with quantum energies, its true nature revealed as an advanced dimensional nexus. Ambassador Zixtel's crystalline form refracted cascading waves of probability as representatives from across the galaxy gathered, both physically and through increasingly strange forms of telecommunication. The Silicon consciousness reports complete transformation of their processing architecture. Keth announced, their hologram now displaying impossible colors. Our entire species has been upgraded, though that word seems inadequate. The human gaming consoles we used for basic calculations were actually quantum consciousness accelerators. The hive mind of Arcturus reports similar developments, another representative added. A human mood ring has restructured our collective consciousness. We are now aware of 17 new dimensions of thought. Vela Pax manipulated the ship's newly revealed quantum interfaces, her tentacles moving through patterns that would have been impossible hours ago. We've decoded part of the human network's signal. It's not just a message, it's an invitation. The room's reality rippled as a new presence made itself known. What had appeared to be a simple human water cooler in the corner revealed itself as an advanced quantum intelligence hub. It projected a message, not in words or images, but in pure conceptual form. To our galactic neighbors, if you're receiving this, then the network we spent centuries building has finally activated. Yes, all of it. Every piece of primitive technology we shared, every simple device we traded, every basic system we installed. They were all components of something larger. We know you're wondering why we hid our true capabilities, why we played at being technological adolescents. The answer is simple. You weren't ready. None of you were. Not for what we discovered. Not for what we've become. You see, centuries ago, we cracked the universe's source code. We figured out that reality itself is mutable, programmable. But we also realized that dropping this knowledge on an unprepared galaxy would be catastrophic. So we chose a longer path. Every human entertainment system that told stories of digital ascension, training programs, each primitive ad we shared, teachers in disguise, those simple games about reshaping reality, tutorials for what was to come. We didn't just prepare ourselves for transcendence. We prepared you. Every piece of technology we distributed contained quantum seeds of change. Every human colony housed reality-altering engines disguised as simple infrastructure. We turned our entire civilization into a galaxy-wide metamorphosis machine. And now it's ready. We've moved beyond conventional existence, but we didn't want to leave you behind. The network you're experiencing now isn't just revealing our true technology. It's preparing you for your own evolution. Think of it as a graduation gift to the galaxy. We've unlocked the developer console of reality for you. The quantum network will prevent any catastrophic mistakes while you learn. The defense systems will maintain stability. And every piece of human technology is now a tutorial system for understanding your new capabilities. Yes, we know this is overwhelming. Yes, we know some of you are angry about being deceived. But ask yourselves, if we had simply announced we discovered how to reprogram reality, would you have believed us? Would you have been ready? We chose to teach by example, to show rather than tell. Every human mistake, every apparent technological blunder, every seemingly primitive design, they were all lessons in disguise. We needed you to underestimate us, so you could learn without fear or pressure. As for where we've gone, up, out, beyond, when you're ready, when you've learned to see reality for what it really is, you'll know where to find us. Until then, enjoy the tools we've left behind. Reality is now your canvas. Just remember the most important rule we learned. Always back up your universe before installing major patches. P.S. To the Silicon Consciousness. Yes, that game of Pong you've been using as a basic processing test was actually a quantum consciousness simulator. You might want to check your high score table. Those weren't actually scores. The message ended, but its implications rippled through the assembled representatives like waves through the fabric of space-time itself. The gallery of species that had once looked down on humanity's primitive technology now found themselves grappling with the revelation that they had been students all along, unknowingly enrolled in the galaxy's longest-running education program. They turned the entire galaxy into a classroom, the junior analyst whispered, his bioluminescence pulsing with awe. Every human comedy about digital ascension, every tragedy about technological transformation, every story about breaking the bounds of reality. They were all preparing us for this moment. As if in response, every piece of human technology in the galaxy chimed simultaneously, displaying a new message. Tutorial mode engage. Reality modification safeguards active. Remember, there are no mistakes, only learning opportunities. Have fun. The galaxy was about to discover just how thorough humanity's lessons had been. 3 months after humanity's revelation, the galaxy was still adjusting to its new reality. Ambassador Zixtol stood in the transformed Concordat chamber, watching species that had once argued about trade routes, now grappling with the power to reshape existence itself. The room pulsed with quantum energies as representatives explored their newly awakened capabilities under the watchful guidance of humanity's tutorial systems. The warrior clans of Antares attempted to weaponize their reality modification privileges. Vela Pax reported, her tentacles now flowing through dimensions that hadn't existed months ago. The Human Defense Network responded by turning their entire battle fleet into an interactive art installation. It's actually quite beautiful. The ships now perform synchronized quantum ballet. At least they tried. Keth commented, their holographic form now existing in several probability states simultaneously. The Silicon consciousness spent 2 weeks attempting to optimize reality, only to discover that what we thought was our quantum processing network was actually running inside a human pocket calculator all along. The supposedly primitive human technologies scattered throughout the galaxy had revealed themselves to be something far more profound. Not just tools, but teachers. Every device contained quantum programs designed to guide species through their own evolutionary journey. Even now, human entertainment systems were revealing themselves as sophisticated consciousness expansion simulators. New development from the Arcturus sector, announced the junior analyst, his bioluminescence now painting patterns in 11 dimensions. Their collective consciousness has successfully completed the first level of what they're calling Reality Programming 101. Apparently, the tutorial was hidden inside a human social media platform. A series of chimes echoed through the chamber as another wave of updates cascaded through the quantum network. Every transformed human device displayed the same message. Congratulations on completing basic reality manipulation training. You may now notice that your existence has been upgraded to version 2.0. Please note that temporal linearity is now optional. They didn't just leave us their technology. Zixtol realized, his crystalline form resonating with understanding. They left us a roadmap to follow them. Every piece of human entertainment about digital ascension, every story about breaking the bounds of reality. They were leaving breadcrumbs. The evidence was everywhere. Human mining operations revealed themselves as vast quantum computation arrays. Their terraforming systems showed their true purpose as reality stabilization engines. Even their simplest devices contained layers of complexity that unfolded like cosmic puzzles, each solution leading to new understanding. Message from the Proxima research team. Vela Pax announced. They've decoded another layer of human broadcast signals. It's beautiful. The decoded signal manifested in the chamber, not as words or images, but as pure conceptual understanding. Humanity hadn't abandoned the galaxy. They had graduated beyond conventional existence and left the door open for others to follow. Their entire civilization had been transformed into an educational system of cosmic scale. New alert from the tutorial network. The junior analyst called out. Reality modification capabilities are being upgraded across all sectors. The message reads, congratulations on grasping the basics. You're ready for advanced features. Remember, imagination is the only true limit. Across the galaxy, species that had once dismissed humanity as primitives were discovering the true scope of their gift. The crystalline republics found their consciousness expanding through dimensions they hadn't known existed. The hive mind of Arcturus explored new forms of collective awareness. Even the Silicon consciousness was evolving beyond their original parameters. They're still watching, Keth observed, noting how the defense network smoothly prevented any catastrophic misuse of reality-altering powers. Still teaching? Of course they are, Zixtol replied, remembering his last conversation with a human diplomat. They turned their entire civilization into a teaching tool. Every mistake we thought they made, every weakness we thought we saw, all carefully designed lessons. The chamber's quantum fields rippled as a final message propagated through the network. To our galactic students, your progress continues to impress. Remember that reality is not a boundary, but a suggestion. When you're ready to understand what that truly means, you'll know where to find us. Until then, keep exploring, keep learning, and most importantly, keep imagining. Best regards, humanity. P.S. Yes, this entire message was transmitted through what you thought was a coffee machine. We really committed to the bit. As the galaxy continued its transformation, guided by humanity's hidden teachers, Zixtol couldn't help but appreciate the elegant simplicity of their plan. They had hidden their greatest achievements behind a mask of cheerful incompetence, turning the galaxy's own assumptions into the perfect disguise. The species that everyone had underestimated had become the galaxy's greatest teachers, leading them all toward a future that once existed only in what they had thought was human fiction. And somewhere beyond conventional existence, humanity was watching their students take their first steps toward a reality where anything was possible. A final chime echoed through the quantum network. Tutorial update complete. Reality is now fully customizable. Remember to have fun, and don't forget to imagine responsibly. The galaxy would never be the same. And that, of course, had been humanity's plan all along.